I'm a one. I'm a one-to-one, I can never be you. Little me tools, no I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I can never be you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Drop my first single, let go, he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rat. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new Beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet.
In honor of Black History Month, I'm going to share my secret tip to portrait painting while painting a portrait of my favorite black artist. But before I spill the tea, a few fun facts about Jean-Michel Basquiat. Did you know he was a high school dropout who started selling merch of his early art? During the 70s, he became a graffiti artist, tagging the streets of Manhattan with the alias Samo. He sold his first painting to Blondie's Debbie Harry for $200. And during the 80s, he rose to fame and became good friends with Andy Warhol. His most expensive painting was sold for $110.5 million, and his fans include Kanye West and Jay-Z. Okay, history lesson over. Now on to my tip. So one of the hardest things about painting is simplifying your subject. This is why painters often squint at their subject. With digital painting, one neat trick to simulate squinting is to blur your reference. In the early stages of painting, blur your reference by 20%, then paint what you see. After that, blur your reference by 12% and continue with a smaller brush. Repeat as needed, blurring less and less each time, and progressively adding more details to your painting. You can also apply this trick to still lifes and landscapes. Okay, one more fun fact about Basquiat. Did you know that he dated Madonna in the 1980s before she was famous? And when they broke up, he took back all the paintings he gave her and painted over them in black.
fuck yourself, man. Think you're better than me. I am better than you.
Watercolor is backwards compared to all other paint mediums because you have to work light to dark. So what that means is you put down your very lightest values first, and you have to make sure you don't cover those up, and then you slowly work darker each layer. And instead of doing the highlights at the end, you're actually doing all your darkest darks at the end. And that's because watercolor isn't opaque, it's actually transparent. And so with other mediums, it doesn't matter if you work light to dark because it's opaque. You can cover things up at the end, but with watercolor it's transparent, so you can't cover anything up. So always work light to dark.
No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. I've been showing you how I design and print them in different colors. Let's sculpt Oni mask number 3. Stretch, cube, and cut. Duplicate and arrange. Make invisible and merge. Chin, jaw, cheeks. Smooth brush. Circle trim to start the mouth. Rectangle trim. Clay build-up tool to roughly create the lips. Trim with lasso tool. Cut away at different angles. Mouth looks nice, give it a nose. The shape is crude and rough, but it's starting to look like a mask. At this point, I still don't have a clear vision in mind, but I'm still freestyling and smoothing out my edges and just creating different cuts here and there. Add a sphere to the scene. This is going to be a tooth. Flatten, squeeze, dent. These are omnivore teeth, but this beast is going to be consuming a little bit more flesh. After the teeth are situated, I'm going to duplicate and rotate. Pull up on the canines. I'm creating the tusk with a donut tool. Trim away with the circle tool. Trim the sides. These tusks are as sharp as the ones that mangled old Yeller. The best doggone dog in the... After situating the tusk, trim away the excess. Add a sphere. Stretch height. Dent the top. Slice away the sides, and now it's looking like a fang. Smooth out the sharp edges. I went a little bit extra and added some roots to the fangs. I don't know why I did that. Once I put it on the mask, you're not going to see the roots of the fangs. Now that it has beautiful chompers, it's time to work on the gums with the inflate tool. After giving it a nose, I used the masking tool to help me extrude a face and make it look like a rabbit looking Batman. Now this mask needs some teeth in the back of the mouth so it can grind, and I want to give you PTSD if you ever had your wisdom teeth taken out. I pushed them deep into the back of the gums. With the masking tool, yep, we're gonna do the obvious, we're gonna add gills. You know what they say, gills pay the bills. I'm adding gills because one of my favorite characters in Hellboy is Abe Sapien. Merge and smooth, freestyle some details, turn down opacity, dig into the sculpture, hollow out the nose. This mask is no longer crude, so I'm working on all the little tiny details that I want this mask to have when I print it. Even some H.R. Geiger details on the insides. This is what I call plumping up your holes. The masks that I've been making are kind of hard to breathe in, so I added some nose holes. This is almost as satisfying as picking your nose when I'm making these holes. My man, those holes are smooth. I turn down the opacity again to make the mask a little bit more thinner. If my mask is too thick, it's going to use too much liquid resin, and also it's going to take a long time to print. Some flat edges also adds contrast to all the round shapes that's going on in the mask. This is my 3D signature. When I'm done with the mask, I export it as an STL file and open it in my slicer, and it's very tiny, so I upsize it to 100 millimeters wide, use a measure tool to measure the width, which is 170 millimeters from my face, and click enter. Rotate it to fit my build plate and add supports. Make sure your supports are stronger than the supports that you got as a kid. What if I added this resin dye to the black, turn off the lights? Wow, galaxy. We're gonna add a little bit of a lot of it. Fill to the max line with more black and mix. Mixed like my DNA. With the magic and sorcery of 3D resin printing, it's going to take 14 hours.
Friend asked to add shading to this cheap mask for a photo shoot.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Halloween. You know, the one with the guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Guess.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that the one where the guy had knives for fingers?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right. I like that movie. It was scary.
Well, the first one was, but the rest sucked.
So, you got a boyfriend?
Why? You want to ask me out on a date?
Maybe. Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Think about you all the time. You got me loose. can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off. You got that motion, dance in slow motion. My eyes can't help looking at you right now. So much emotion, just pick your poison. Is every move you make even allowed? Can't get enough. I try my best to look away, but I can't stop. You know ain't no friends, so tell me what are we? You know that I hate this game. You apologize, always say that you're sorry, but why does it feel the same? I used to keep my cool.
Yeah, he sets my body in motion. He knows how to turn things up. And he knows what gets me going. Yeah, like a little text saying, hey, what's up? They look at me, I'm in a bad situation. Look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at.
Keep thinking that I could have done something, but now I'm left.
Waking up dizzy in the morning. We fight a lot. Don't even know about what. I just want you to leave, darling. It's my own.
Occasionally, I need to breathe. Stop me for a second, I got need.
With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about